And we're recording.
Horrible time for me to have a yawn that I can't ignore on. So, where we take place kind of falls into an in-between.
We were actually thinking it took place before everyone else, at least mostly everyone else, woke up the next day.
Ah, okay, then
Kind
I'm
of
going to...
like between 4 and 7 or 8.
And I'm going to set up everybody's tokens that would have been... Dane, you can move your own token.
Mm-hmm. They would probably be out here in this kind of courtyard-ish area where it's like a pretty large clearing.
For the time being, I'm going to say these guys are sort of not on the map right now.
For context, how's the weather outside in the game?
Early morning rise, it's frigid. It is new snow, essentially.
So how's Dane handling the situation?
Like he usually does. He just feels good. If anything, it's probably like almost ideal weather for him. Because while he's working out, he just burns up even hotter. So if anything, he might have actually gone on for like a little bit longer than he usually does. Or worked out a little bit harder. Because you can feel himself being like chilled, and it's not that as exhausting as it would be from a normal day almost.
I think Orlain, like I told Blank earlier, still has some habit of waking up early for patrol. They've faded, come and gone, but he wakes up pretty early still. He doesn't go patrolling, but he does wake up early. And him and Dane probably woke up around the same time, Dane getting out of bed before him. But
Alright.
Orlain is currently trying to make food for not the entire base like he was before, but just him and Dane. Because he knows they're really the only, not the only two awake, I presume. Looks at Rook.
Rook and Gallon, you saw them leave.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like they were carrying a bag of, like each of them carrying a bag and box of materials,
Mm-hmm.
and it did not help the cause of like, oh, they're probably going to go do something when you heard Rumble rev to life.
I think Orlain would have tried to give them the incentive of be safe, take a couple of like pieces of actual food. I know you're not going to eat much, Rook, because you focus
Oh,
really hard.
Rook absolutely did not take any food. He's like, I'll grab some, and then Gallon, full mom pursing a bag of tools, goes, give me 2 plates, please.
Just a smile and thank you, Gavin, and setting up a couple of plates for them to take with. But he is making some basic something that goes down easy and doesn't like aggravate if the workout ends up being too much after a certain amount of time. Basically,
Cautious.
yeah, basically easy on the stomach, and it won't be horrible coming back up if he ends up being sick.
PB&J.
Not always.
Fair. Just PB then.
But yeah, he
Because
is
it takes
currently
pain
working
going
on,
down and it does going up.
and is just doing that for the time being. I think it takes him a good 30 minutes, around probably the same time Dane is usually wrapping up, around 6:30.
Yeah, and he'd definitely just be like, okay, that's enough for today, because he's still recovering, even though he feels like almost in his prime at the moment. He's like, I need to relax a little bit, especially for today. So it might be just like leading himself back inside slowly while also stretching his upper body.
I think that's kind of where Orlain starts to get a couple of plates for them together, starts to head out to where he knows Dane is usually practicing, stretching, doing his workouts. Just and keeps like a fair like his stealth is pretty high passively. So I don't think he's trying to sneak. I think he's just trying not to wake anybody up.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So he keeps a fair distance from most of the group that might be there and just keeps walking because he's trying to get to Dane before Dane gets back inside. So and Dane is taller than him, but also slower than him, so it like evens out
Yeah.
and gets to the door probably about the same time that Dane does.
Yeah, and Dane has, what was it? He has like almost lighter layers on. He usually has like a brown coat on with a thicker wool shirt underneath.
Hmm.
Today he just has the wool shirt on and probably has the jacket like over his shoulder.
There's a
Orlain?
smile. Good morning, Dane. Thought you could use something to
Yep.
eat.
You have perfect timing, yes. I need some food at the moment.
Timing is actually what I wanted to converse with you about. And you might need the cool air to even your head. But does walk up, hands him the plate with proper utensils.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I think we should go sit for a bit somewhere else.
You have a place in mind?
Kind of tilts his head towards the building off to the side where they can sit away from everybody.
Lead the way.
So, how much do you know of everything we've been doing? The people we've met, the things that have happened? And opens the door and walks inside.
I can have a general perspective from the rogue base perspective. That I can have a basic view on it. But the greater factions and some of the history I've been lacking on.
Orlain
I can
takes a seat on the ground as he hears the explanation of basically, I don't have much, but I'm working with what I've got.
Yeah. Then
and
kind of just sits on the wagon that's in there.
just sits on the ground, leans up against the boxes, and kind of picks at the food. Like it's bread and very light, fluffy eggs in a sandwich. Like nothing too fancy. None of the stuff he's been making before. You know, the easy stuff that while it won't taste great coming back up if he ends up getting sick, it'll be easier to come up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Dane's kind of been picking at the food as they've been walking and just like generally, more or less, just like snacking on it.
So, I know you probably have questions. I would too. Where do you want me to start?
I want you to start with you.
With me? And he looks up.
Yeah, he's bringing his notebook out with like his pens and stuff, and he's just kind of setting them out like on the wagon as like a little kit for himself. And he's not looking up when he's saying this. He's just being like general matter of fact and just I decoded and also Tryphon helped me with the journal entries you gave us a few weeks back.
Ah,
And your history seems to be something of an intrigue to me. If not simply because of you as a person, but a lot of the things that I would need to know coincide with you and your history.
and Orlain looks down at his food again, staring at it more than picking at it now. Well, of course you'd be curious about me. I'm the reason we're in this mess, after all.
I presume you don't mean the cycle.
He shakes his head. No, I mean exiled, outcast. An intrigue for the potentially the worst person you've ever met, and he chuckles.
If you're, or whoever you're referencing is the worst, then I think I've lowered my standards more than my past represents.
I'm the reason Jack is interested in us, or at least in me. And I'm the reason, at the very least, that we are in such a terrible predicament. Not perhaps the worst of it all, but I certainly didn't help. My arrogance when I was, I guess, younger, back then, whatever you want to call it, my arrogance did not suit the situation. I thought I could challenge what I perceived to be a god, until he told me he was no god.
Who is Jack?
Jack is complicated. He will never lie to you, but I've realized that's not always a good thing. He will tell you, I suppose the easiest way to put it is will tell you what you need to hear without ever telling you an untruth. He is the most normal person you will ever meet, with the worst personality you'll ever have. He wants what he wants, and he'll aim to get it.
When you say he will tell you what you need to hear, but you also say he never lies, how does he placate as such?
I suppose the best way to explain that is by example. Through me. And he sighs. The kind of sigh of guilt, of someone who Dane probably remembers being not accosted, but heralded by Jack previously in front of the entire group as, see, they don't care about you, just like what I told you. And then that mistake led to him realizing that they do. That kind of vague recollection, I feel.
Oh yeah, Jack has not been in Dane's mind at all for weeks now, and this is an unanswered question for a while that's been brought right back to the front for him, and he's listening to Orlain and just the idea of, okay, he doesn't lie, but he definitely placates. That's obviously not good, but there's something wrong in here I need to decipher, at least I think.
Through example, let's just say I was in a bad space. I needed to be told the truth. I wanted the truth. He offered it. He told it to me. It didn't make me feel better. It didn't make me feel worse, but it made me feel guilty because I had been listening to him for so long that I no longer trusted my team. Because they refused to tell me the truth. They refused to tell me what I needed to hear, what I wanted to hear, anything, truly anything at all. Simply because I had been through, and I quote, too much. Which I understand now was their way of showing care, but back then I had no context for it. I had felt betrayed. He was the only one who hadn't yet. And Orlain does look incredibly guilty, visibly, explaining this.
Jack provided something to make the world less unknown.
Something seems to register in his eyes as he looks up for a second. He made himself reliable.
But not trustworthy.
A nod.
Dane, breathes in, a long and heavy one, and just... Ugh. That's what you mean by him telling you what you need to hear.
He will never lie to you. But that doesn't make it good.
Did he ever give you the full picture, Orlain?
Since when have we ever had the full picture? The answer is no. He only ever told me in the moment the things that needed to be heard, and later I realized I didn't know anything at all, just what he told me.
What is he?
I couldn't tell you. I'm still working on that myself. And he does, like, try to eat a little bit, but it seems more forced than anything, as if recalling that he should eat something more than wanting to.
Yeah, Dane is writing down something. It's like blurbs, really.
Mm.
Some of it's in common, some of it's in Dwarvish, some of it's in a combination of Celestial, Dwarvish, and Common. It's a weird way of annotating his own notes, but there is rhyme and reason to it, you can see.
I aim to figure out what he is so I can help him. And I know, foolish Orlain trying to help the man who's been ruining your life. You wouldn't be the first to tell me that.
I probably won't be the last either. But why do you want to help him?
No one, not even him, deserves to suffer that way.
He's suffering?
Yes, he's been quite upfront about it to us before. He can't die. I'm trying to figure out a way to, I don't know, undo what might be a curse? A plague? Something soul-bound? I'm not sure. Whatever it is, I aim, if not to help him realize that there's something worth living for, at the very least, put him down for good. And he does look miserable when he says that. Like he does not want to take another life. Even
And
Jack.
Dane's not noting anything down at this point. He's just kind of looking at Orlain. He has his pen in hand and just kind of like holding like he's going to lean back to write something, but it's not a look of suspicion on his face. Dane's just confused. You can very obviously tell that. Like he has squinted eyes. It's not really a frown, but it's like the regular stoic face he puts on, this neutral not smile, like neutral expression. But
Mm.
his eyes are squinted and he is trying to get what you're putting through. He's been cursed to suffer from what you've been able to tell then.
He shakes his head. It is an assumption. And I know I really shouldn't make those about someone like Jack, but I can't help but wonder what drove him to do the things he did. Still does. Why he is the way that he is, why he's so desperate to die. I really don't know. Someone that powerful could do anything, be anything. And he chooses to want to die. I want to know why.
The things we cannot do are the things that intrigue us the most. It's a natural humanoid want to to do the impossible.
That's the thing, Dein. It's not impossible. He's told me I'm. And he pauses, seemingly hesitant to say the rest of the sentence.
Dane kind of leans in.
Less told me and more shown me. I'm one of the few people, I think, if we're not one of the only people, who can truly hurt him.
Inborn strength? Or because of a certain magic you possess?
I wouldn't be able to tell you. Neither will he, at this rate. All he knows is that I was able to hurt him, and that ability is crucial in him getting what he wants, and what he wants is to die.
Dane nods and, like, he writes that down. It's not impossible for you to do, but it is, from his eyes, impossible for him to do.
Orlain looks confused.
You can kill him by some unknown mean, and he knows that. And it's clearly rare enough where, from what you've told me, he covets your attention, hatred, or something along those lines. He needs you.
Orlain doesn't really know how to react to that statement, but he does look kind of unsettled.
But if that was his only goal, then we wouldn't be here.
I suppose you have a point. I got any theories?
You see Dane's face cringe. This will lead into it, but what are Magesters?
They are. From what he has told me, they are people much like me who have faced something terrible and been given an offer to be someone else, a part of something bigger. And he shakes his head. I think I'm one of the few, again, to not take it. And I don't know how many he has.
So Jack commands a force of people.
Yes.
I will softly ask Orlain to do a history check, please. as you were stated, you were being clear and catching Dane up in the full of it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just do.
10.
It's a mid roll.
Yeah. There's another fact about the Magesters that was never stated but was prominent.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it was something you've run into twice now with the Magesters, because once you faced them, and the other one you saw with Shade. Would you like? I can't give you more than that because that's the context clues of a 10. Hmm.
Dane wasn't there when, what was it, Shade was introduced. So Dane can't
That's right.
actually do anything.
Weren't you at? Were you not in the cave? No, you weren't. That's right. You
I
were absent that day.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
And what was it? The only other instance of Majester I can think of is like literally the session that Dane was introduced. But I don't think that Dane actually saw the Majester because there was some invisibility stuff going on.
See, the way that I'm kind of moving through this is not what is like on my notes. Is what Orlain is processing as, I guess, important. And as far
Hmm.
as he's concerned, the broader spectrum to help Dane be caught up is more important than giving 10,000 little details that don't really match up to a timeline.
Yeah, and from Dane's perspective, he's trying to ask questions that would provide just that extra big detail of context to what Orlain is giving him, and then whatever context conclusions he can bring to, he's just trying to organize. Like he's constantly just rereading what he's written down from what Orlain said at the moment.
All right.
So I kind of know what you're referencing, but Orlain does not see it as not important, but just not relevant.
Relevant, yeah.
Okay.
But he does
Makes-
kind of have the sigh, just the reaction that he gives when harsher topics are met with skepticism, because he doesn't really know how to say, no, this is exactly what happened. This is date to date exactly what I experienced, because he doubts sometimes that it is what he experienced.
Mm-hmm.
The problems of having a schizoid personality disorder. You don't know if fucking anything's real.
Fair. Horrible, but fair.
Hmm.
Yeah. Thankfully, and this is the last part out of character I'll say about that one, he has what I have, which makes it easier to register what is real, but that doesn't mean it's always registered as real.
All right.
But he does continue with, so Majestas are, like I said, they are, you put it together quite succinctly, they are a force underneath Jack. There are others that have names, people who aren't Majestas. But we've only encountered a few of those. I think one or two.
What are the names?
One of them, I believe, had introduced himself as Shade. There was one. I think it might have been just that he was head Magester or something. He, they, I don't really recall. But they were somewhere they shouldn't have been and escaped before we could actually get any answers. So I don't really know the name. But it was back when I was kind of useless because I was afraid of the weather. And he laughs kind of nervously.
Have you really run out of that?
Hmm.
Dane just laughs like he's obviously trying to lighten the mood just a tad bit.
And it does seem to work a little bit because Orlain does give off a small smile. It's actually gone a little better after talking to Caracal earlier.
Who is Caracal?
Someone we saved. Someone who initially was trying to kill us, as I think he had been ordered to do so. And then we kind of snapped him out of it, set him free, and he just stuck around. Now he's with Alpha Team.
Who was he sent by?
I don't think that was ever told.
Yes, it was. History
Was it?
check.
Fucking.
Lowest possible DC. It's because it's very funny about what he was sent from. Damn, thematically hilarious. He was sent by the Magester that was waiting inside his cell. He was told to kill you guys literally as you arrived. So he was being freed. And this is stuff he had shared with you. He was freed and then told the mission. There's a group of people. You're going to hurt them. Some of them can die, not all of them. Just go wild a bit. And he was going to do so. Until the husband stepped in, allowing the party to fight the Magester. So more or less what happened was simple of I was told to fight you, I'm gonna fight you now. And I'm gonna go back to that cell. And then it was just that one get over here meme of someone being yoinked out of the left stage.
But he.
From-
Someone's stage hooked off of the stage.
Yeah, but instead of a stage hook, it was a giant Dracarian stone hand that just went yoink.
You're not allowed to get near him right now. Sorry. No, heart emoji. Get over here.
It was something like
All I can imagine is a Maximilian's earthen grass coming out of the ground. Punch.
close. They did have a full-on kaiju battle that no one saw because the party chased the Magester into the cavern. So, it was very much told on the 10. They told me I could be free if I killed you guys, so I'm just gonna do that. Which was not the full thing, but that's how you interpret it because we know Kel doesn't fully get things.
Yeah. We love our baby boy. We love our golden retriever bird.
So Caracal was sent by a Magester.
Mm-hmm. Orlain will betray that.
That seems too convenient.
Is it? I really don't want to question anything anymore. The more I question, the more it hurts. The more I stop questioning reality and start questioning myself. And a little bit of reality, because I don't really know what is real anymore.
We are almost living in a. It's frustrating almost how little we know, but the more we ask, the worse it gets.
Oh, I could use a drink right around now. Just the
You see
grumble of
Dane
somebody
just
who's just like, I don't want to do this over, man. Like,
you see Dane kind of just generally poke out a flask from like his coat pocket.
are
I
you
have some
offering?
gin.
Are you offering? Because I will warn you. Apparently, I could throw back something that really shouldn't be drank, called Dracarian liquor. So,
This is something I just found around. It's gin. Something I drank a while back, from what I can recall. Or at least it's familiar. It's that deja vu feeling. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't,
Uh,
actually.
it's like feeling something you've done before, just forgotten it.
Like an ache?
It's like looking at a scar, remembering that it happened, but forgetting it the moment you stopped looking at the scar.
So, like an ache that kind of comes and goes when you think about certain things.
Yes, almost.
He frowns, recalling the way that he felt when talking to Rook yesterday, but shakes it off. Almost physically shakes it off. The kind of the cat like head shake almost.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bleh.
Fair at
I'm
moment.
waking up. Yeah. And just again, are you offering?
Be my guest. Just don't drink all of it. That's all I have right there.
I could technically offer to get some more when we go back to my base. I would just have to let Clyde know.
Promising
Because
on a future is promising on a fault.
no, not really, because Clyde is trustworthy. He'll probably ask if it's for me or not, but not much more. Well, that's a lie. That's a lie. He'll ask like 13 questions, and half of them are going to be if I'm the one drinking it. But that's here nor there. And he does like hold out his hand for the glass.
Dane shrugs and just like hands him the what was it? The flask. I give this to you in no means of getting anything back. All I ask is you show your restriction.
Uh-oh.
You had that prepared, motherfucker.
That's basically what he does.
Very much two wolves mean inside of Orlain. One of them is Maddie going, yeah! The other one is Deacon going, oh no.
Matt is just like, get it. Deacon's just like, oh, here we go again.
It's party time. Party time. Deacon, this is why we banned her from Fae parties.
Dane's like,
It's
hey,
genetic.
hey, hey!
Brother!
Orlain, I need some of that for the road.
The
He
road
does.
is short, but not that short.
He does like hear the Orlain. There's like so, and he does choke a little bit on like trying to drink them because he tried to laugh at the same time as pulling away the drink. And he's like, sorry, and caps it again and hands it back. There's still a bit left, but he definitely did not want to be sober and is not currently.
Dane just kind of like he face palms with the pen in his hand, just like, oh, I need to make you a flask of dwarven gin when we get back.
Like I said,
This
you can always ask Clyde. Again, he might fuss and worry, but that's what he does. And Orlain does look notably more, not relaxed, but talkative. Like, he's grinning and showing teeth, but not in a bad way, of just like, he looks like he's ready to walk up to Jack and sock him in the mouth. Like,
just more open.
mm-hmm.
Dane, what was it? Cocks his head for a second, and then just swigs the rest of it.
Yeah! Maddie voice.
And he just twists the...
Chug. Then all of a sudden there's just Deacon. And Dane, you can see this too. A black ichor start to pull off of Orlain, kind of like seeping through his pores, and then just going, please, no.
Dean's gonna stop drinking for a second and just pull it away from his mouth. Just look at it, just like, did you do something to my gin? No. He doesn't actually say that, but like, he definitely pulls it away from him.
The black ichor creature does sort of like, it seems very symbiotic, kind of venomish, depending on Orlain, before kind of like getting that weakness of just like, okay, knee bones don't exist, and starting to sit down.
You see Dane take a good swig before he caps it off and like puts it back in his like little breast pocket.
This softest, tired old man holding on to Orlain's hand. You know you got a trance tonight, right?
Moving on.
I don't think there's a moving on.
So, back to...
Orlain voice. I do not see. I have no ears. Like, I do not acknowledge you, no.
I'm not invisible.
So...
I will not trance, no. Because every time I trance, Maddie has some shit to say. I'm still mad at her.
Why are you mad at her? What did she do?
Stare directly at Deacon.
He's not looking at you. He doesn't have eyes.
Well, yes, but Orlain is drunk and doesn't care. Just the feeling of staring.
Looks at Dane. I was never here. Ask about that though. And sleeps back in.
You bitch. Coward.
So, back to Jack for a moment.
Oh yeah, that bitch. What do you want to know?
Is he a part of any faction? Or is he just him?
We haven't figured that out yet. Because we technically haven't. You've told me something out of character. We haven't.
Mm-hmm.
there's been implications and things said about Jack, but there's not really been time for Orlain to process any of that yet. And he's drunk, so that's not happening. Like,
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't know, maybe. I mean, he seems pretty obsessed with one area, but I don't think it's. He's always obsessed with something. Whether it's me, good old fashioned me, lovely, but you know how it goes.
Dang just kind of nods and like, yeah, I get that. What else do you know about Jack?
He's kind of, like I said, he is complicated, but not in a complex manner, if that makes any fucking sense.
There's a lot of things to him, but not a lot of it creates a
Conflict.
whole structure.
It doesn't
Exactly.
create a lot of conflict in him. It seems to just click together. Like, I can't use that phrase. Jack would be instantly summoned and go, "How do you fucking know that?" I can't do it. He just stares for a moment. It's kind of like a puzzle piece. They all click together in the same picture, but you never really know where it goes until you figure out what's next to it.
Like a hoarder collecting anything they find and somehow making a tower of it.
Correct. It eventually clicks into place, but right now I only have bits and pieces.
We have those bits and pieces.
A nod. I suppose you have a point. It's nice to not have to hide that anymore. I was scared for a while that this team, after so many people leaving, would abandon me. And I know that's stupid, ridiculous, but it's happened before.
I have no reason to leave, Orlain. I may be mortal. Do not fault me on that. But I am not confident I would survive anywhere else.
Right. I mostly just mean skepticism is not the greatest ally to fear. It is more like a snake in the garden.
And by reading your accounts of what I know, it's of no real fault to you. But I know it does hurt.
There's a sniff, kind of like not a dismissive one, just I know. Why would it be my fault? I mess around a lot, but I can't control people. I want
But you
to.
can blame yourself.
Yes, I do a lot. It's the only thing I can control, so might as well control my own thoughts, feelings, actions, reactions. And if I can control those, it'll be the 1 ounce of freedom I truly have left. And he sort of winces at the word freedom.
Control yourself, and you control your future.
In a manner of speaking, yes. Though everyone seems insistent on their past recently.
I follow the same motto. It's why I do what I do every morning. So I can say that I know what you speak of.
I just worry a lot that this is all going to be for nothing. All the people we save, all the people we break out of the cycle, all the bases we ruin, all the homes we take away. And he sort of looks sad when he mentions home. What's the use if we fail?
What's the use in we try?
A shrug, I suppose.
We get a different result. We get a different result if we try. Because it doesn't mean nothing. If it did mean nothing, that means we did not try.
And he kind of raises his hand, setting the now mostly empty plate of food on the side of him, and just wipes away a tear or two. It's like, everyone is so focused on the things behind them. I'm just trying to get ahead, one step after the other, trying at least to see what others don't, so we don't get caught off guard, so we don't get hurt again. But I know we're going to. I can't prevent it. I just want to lessen the impact. Even if I have to step in front of you guys to do it.
Expend a spell slot to save multiple used in healing.
There's
One
kind of a
slot for
chuckle.
Featherfall.
I wouldn't know. I'm not all that good at this magic thing yet. I barely got training with a gun.
I woke up with one. And I can't say I do know how to use it.
But this is a bit of a dour thing, but
We are off topic, yes.
yeah, let's get back on topic before I probably have a mental breakdown again.
What about the factions?
What about them?
What do they represent? What are the people within them like?
I can't speak for the whole, but the ones that I'm familiar with, Clyde, Izanani, Hopper, they're usually good folk, just made to do things because they believe they have no other choice. In our base, the one I had to tear down in order to save the people within. You know how it goes. You give them a second chance, they take it. Or rather, if they sink, they sink. If they swim, they swim. You can't make them do one or the other. All you can do is offer them the choice.
You covered your tracks and burned down a camp? Or a encampment?
The first thing I ever did on this journey was take down the tower at my own base. at my own home. And no matter what other people say about, oh, we can still go back there, we can still go back home, that's not how I define home, and I can't go there anymore. I can visit the people, and I plan to. I plan to go home to them when we're all said and done up here. But it's not home.
It's not the same comfort.
Like I said, skepticism is not an ally to fear.
I see.
But again, that's a bit off topic. I guess it's the alcohol.
Well, when you're influenced by something that was off topic to begin with, a
Yeah,
little dilution never hurt.
there's a smile. But you have questions. Like I said, I'm willing to answer and willing to talk. If I can't answer or don't know, I'll tell you.
Do we know what the shards are?
Okay. I know we do. I have just been sleeping all day. Oh no.
This is something that's been bothering Dane for a while. Granted, like, what was it? I didn't think of it until, what was it, recently when we had that thing in our DMs.
Mm-hmm.
But it is something that would have been legitimately bothering Dane for a while because, well, one, because he hasn't got one yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also, he's seen everyone else have one. And it do something.
They're
And
like,
he's like,
if I recall correctly, they're literally pieces of divinity that power the towers.
They are pieces of conducted divinity, essentially. Radiance, unfiltered.
Yeah. So Orlain thinks for a moment because anybody who's been under the influence knows that your brain works at like barely half capacity, and that's if you're a good drunk.
half capacity with a little slippery.
Well, but yeah. Orlain kind of takes a moment to think and goes, as far as I can register and far as I remember, it's similar to condensed divinity. It powers every tower we run across. And we have to make sure that other things do not get them. And touching too many of them is usually a bad thing, even for us. I think especially for us.
Sorry, eating. You see Dane just kind of like stop mid writing, like after you say radiance or like divinity.
Mm-hmm.
So what would happen if I picked up one?
I suppose the same thing that happened to Jackie. It didn't apparently feel good. And it doesn't, from experience. He kind of, for someone who's normally so colorful and vibrant, and even more so while under the influence, talkative and bold and brash, he goes a little quiet when he mentions from experience. And you see his like expression darken and pale time. as if he hasn't really said what he saw the first time, or any of the times that he, went through it.
What did you see?
I don't want to talk about it. He sounds scared.
Not relevant.
Relevant. I just don't want to talk about it. Forgive me, it was one of the few things that truly frightened me. If you could believe it, it shocked me into being a better person. Seeing death on such a grand scale. Does that.
Death does a lot of things to individuals. I don't remember my past death, if I had one before the cycle began. But I'd be lying if I said I was not scared of it.
Why
And he
don't
seemed
I
just kind of like,
just. And Orlain just kind of has the reaction of, why don't I just give you the rest of my journals? Bringing up the
are
shard has not really made me want to talk much.
they all still in Elvish and broken Celestial?
No, they're all in common.
Then I'll take them.
A nod.
But I will have further questions, Orlain.
I know. I just. Forgive me for being a little terrified of the prospect of not being able to be enough.
You initiated this conversation. I am giving you my full attention and trying to be as studious as a listener as I can be. You have every right to stop this conversation when you feel necessary. Any knowledge I can gain, I will happily gain it, but I will not take it forcefully.
And he nods. You're welcome to ask questions. To grab me whenever you see fit about my journals. But for now, I think I need to avoid talking to Noctis. Because I really shouldn't have drank anything before having a full meal, let alone broken what I told him. But
You drank while having a meal. Technically, there is a difference.
I suppose so. But for now, why don't we call it here?
I can agree to that. Thank you, Orlain.
Of course. We're allies after all, right?
We're family, Orlain.
I think that's a great place to call that.
Yeah.
So with you guys gaining a bond point, and Dane, you get to learn